were a bit raunchy and raucous.
We kept you on a really short leash.
Nice to be on someone's leash sometimes.
I was gonna say, with that hair, you better play an instrument. It is so rock and roll. I love it.
I think she's a they. That didn't come out right. Can you do this for,
People would do
a
anything for a
donut?
t-shirt.
That's like genius.
So,
Yes.
oh yeah, so many
You
responsibilities.
made it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I got the date. I forgot. You guys are like in the future over there. So.
We are. I'm at my girlfriend's house and she's in New South Wales. So my brain, because they've just had daylight saving change. So in my brain, I was like, I have to make sure that I've got all the time zones correct. And then when I was sitting here this morning and she was like, are you sure you've got this right? I'm like, no, I'm so positive I've worked it out right this time.
Wow. This is Denise, my co-host. I'm JD.
Hi.
Hi there.
So nice to meet you.
So,
I know about
wow.
this time zone math. I know this time zone math is brutal. Like I'm in
yeah.
London, she's in the States, you're in Australia, and my wife's from Brisbane. So and
Whereabouts in Brisbane?
Queensland.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Brisbane?
Queensland.
So
Is that-
Queensland's the state and then Brisbane's the city. Do you know what
Yeah.
suburb she was?
I'm not really sure. I think her mom lives in Sandgate or something.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
she grew up around there. Went to Queensland University, all that kind of stuff. But we used to struggle with the time zone math, especially when I was still in the States. Like, oh my God. But yeah, even now when she goes back to visit and we schedule on our calls, it's like her bedtime, my morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot
Oh
of
my
math.
God.
Yeah.
The struggle is real.
But yay, we made it. So,
Yes.
I'm like,
Oh.
let's get it all done in one night.
Yes.
it's been a long
That's
time in the
fantastic.
making. And Denise, thank you, because Denise is in the middle of packing. They're moving. You must be tired. I was like, I hope she's still awake. I know. She just texted
Okay, that's what I said. We'll get it all done in one night, and then tomorrow and the rest of the week will just be packing and purging.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so you are a late bloomer coach for lesbians. I love that. I love that title. I love what it is that you do because we both are late bloomers.
Mhm. I wish there was a coach when we were going through it, right?
Yes, I wish.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about what you do, what your coaching involves.
Yeah, amazing. So when we say coach, I would say it's a very loose term of coach. I'd say it's more of a guide because if you guys have also come out later in life as well, there's no guidebook. There is no one
There's
saying
no handbook for it. It's like sink or swim. Yeah. Yeah.
and there's no stamp of approval. I don't know about you girls, but I had no one around me that had ever even walked this path as well. So I have only officially come out 3 years ago, but during that it was about a 5-year journey, and I was like, I felt so alone and felt so not sure of myself and where I was in this journey. To when now I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if we had a space where we could talk with other women who were in this exact same situation? Yes. So that's how my Facebook group, the Late Blooming Lounge, come about. And it's grown in the most beautiful way. It's a worldwide group. There's nearly 8,000 women in there. And everyone in there is in the same position. So there's no stamp of saying you're gay. It's just like, we just know that we might be exploring somewhere where we always thought we weren't going to be our life.
Yeah.
And it's just grown so authentically to the most point now that we now create spaces where people can have friendships. It's all online, some in-person events, in-person retreats. Like, it's just grown in the most authentic way. And my mission basically is just to help women in that same situation like I was, to not feel so alone. Like, to have a community that's their little soft landing spot.
That's wonderful, because I think that's the thing that's missing, and you feel like you're on your own,
right?
Yeah.
And then when you realize that there's like a whole community out there that's kind of navigating the same waters as you are,
Right.
it's just a blessing, it's just an absolute blessing. Even if you're talking to strangers, there's a common thread, and that's what you're looking for. And I think, I don't know about you, JD, because you, even though you weren't out, you were surrounded by lesbians all the time,
I immersed myself through the
at
music
your gigs,
world.
at pride events and stuff.
By
And
design.
yeah, and like for me, it was like I had a very small group. I was identifying as straight. I was married to a guy, and then I had this little circle of friends that were lesbians, and my ex-husband loved them. They would come over for poker nights, and the more like I got to know him, I was kind of like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
is resonating with me in a weird way. But then, even after I came out, like I still had that nice little support circle, you know.
Mm,
But it's different because like that part of it is like good and that's okay. But you still have to navigate your straight friendships, your family,
Right.
uh, all that other, and that's where all the questions, came from. And I had this little group that, of course, I could go to and say, "Hey, was this weird for you?" Or whatever. But um, nowadays, because of social media,
yeah.
it has made it, like there's a strength in numbers kind of thing, and that's a beautiful thing. Like we were right on the cusp of that, I think for me, I think I came out in 1998.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was in my late 20s, and so were my friends and everything. And the only available thing was like AOL, and buddy chats and, F for F women rooms that you could chat in, and you didn't even at that time you didn't even know if you were talking to a dude that was pretending to
Yeah.
be a woman or
Right.
you
Right.
know, but now it's just uh there's a lot more resources,
Yeah.
and someone like you that's like moderating this group, and I'm sure you have like, have learned of all the resources around,
Mhm.
and people can ask those kinds of questions, get the answers immediately, not having to search everything themselves and having a group to go to. It's a really, really smart thing, and
Yeah.
it's so helpful, so
And
needed.
I like
Yeah.
that you have it, that people could have friendships as well, because like Denise said, sometimes it's not always that you're looking for a partner, but a friend
Yeah,
that
yeah,
understands
yeah,
where you're coming from. Because
100%.
when you're coming from being in a straight relationship, I was also married to a man. Your friends are usually straight with husbands. So in my situation, because I'm a musician, like Denise said, like surrounded myself, immersed myself in the world of lesbians, because I started playing at the lesbian bars, the few
Mm,
that were around, and the gay and the Pride Fest. So that was my way of getting into the community. And I would always, be like, oh no, no, I'm an artist. I'm just playing the music here. And Denise had a podcast at the time called the Lesbian Lounge, and they were like, I was a guest on that show quite
All the
often,
time. Yeah.
and they were just waiting for me to come out. They're like, yeah, right, right,
Like,
give
JD, give
your
us the
time.
exclusive. Can you give us the
before you come
exclusive?
out.
You promise when you're ready to come out, you'll give us the
Right.
exclusive. She was like, no, no, I'm not. No, no, no. Yeah,
And
okay, okay.
and like the two things are the navigating the straight friends and hoping that they're cool with it, and then the other thing is, like, I don't know if you got this, Denise, but I would get like, how did you not know? Like I didn't
Mm,
dupe my ex-husband. I didn't go into that marriage knowing I would rather be with a woman. I didn't realize it. It's odd to say that, right? Or to feel that way, to say I didn't realize it really.
mm,
Although if I think about it, it was probably always there, but you bury it, like, because of
Yeah.
like our I'm the oldest of the three of us, but like back then in the 70s, the 80s, you didn't really, um, it wasn't so, you coming out or being out wasn't so okay as it is now,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I think for me, I grew up like upstate New York, like, like seriously footsteps away from Canada, like that far up north in New York, and there was no gay bars. You know,
Hmm.
I had a gay cousin that was a hairdresser that lived in Las Vegas, and every time he flew home, he brought us the most fabulous gifts, and everybody was knew he was gay, but nobody made a big deal out of it or anything. So there wasn't a lot to go on, you know. And when I moved to Florida, I felt like it was a freaking playground. You know, it was just like, wow, what's going on here? You know, there's a lot. But I followed the herd as you do, you know, like with your straight friends. Everybody was getting married
Mhm.
around that time. And I mean, I think the first year I was dating my ex-husband, we went to 3 weddings. You know, all my friends were like all getting married and we, you know, we were engaged and then we got married. I followed the herd because I thought that's what you were supposed to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, that's
And
a
it
good
was
way
like
to put it.
our families were so intertwined, you know, that like, you know, his mother and my mother would do stuff every weekend and his sisters would come to all the, you know, everything, family dinners and
Mhm.
all, like everybody was so intertwined. And so it didn't cross my mind for the longest time, you know, and it was like I had like a couple of friends, you know, so my one bestie, her sister came out and that was like a huge thing. And then she had this little group of friends that ended up becoming my friends. I was friends with all of them. And I was just like, you know what? This works. This really works. So yeah, it was probably like maybe my fourth year of marriage that I said, I'm thinking about this way too much,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
took my
You can't.
happy little butt to therapy and worked it out and figured it out. And then, you know, brought him into the fold and said, this is what I've been going to therapy for. And my therapist was like, bring him in and we'll, you know, you can come out to him like right here in this safe space. And if he has any questions and can, you know, you guys have this conversation. If he wants to keep coming back on his own, that's fine, you know. But yeah, I really went about it like very like clinically, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it also in the same sense felt organic, you
Yeah,
know, like I waited until it was like on my mind so much. You know, you blow off those little thoughts here and there,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it was on my mind so much. I'm like, this is a thing. Like, this is a thing that I need to address. It was,
And you can't unsee it either. Like
you
once
can't,
it's there, it's
yeah,
like,
you can't snuff
why
it
did I
down.
see this? Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
stuff it down. That's something that you then know that you're living completely a lie. Like, because you're not living authentic. And if these thoughts are there, but it's
yeah,
so curious. It's compulsory heterosexuality. We're just like born with a playbook to
yeah,
be this way before we've even like come out of our mother, like
Yeah,
literally. And
yeah.
like I completely resonate with what you said about the queer, like no queer representation. I
none.
graduated high school in 2002, so I'm 40 this year. There was no one that was gay at my high school. Whereas I look at my teens' high school and they all identify at all different realms of gender, fluidity, sexuality. Like it wasn't a thing, even in
Yeah.
2002. Like it
Right.
definitely was.
So
But I
different.
think, yeah, yeah. But the
Yeah,
more people that talk about it and the more
yeah,
conversations and the more
yeah,
noisy that you start to be on social media,
yeah.
it's such a powerful tool. It's such a powerful way to help people feel like not so alone. Like it's awful. Like it's amazing that both of you girls had queer friends. I didn't have any queer. Oh, one. Sorry, one. My best friend turned out to be gay as well. He is. But yeah,
Yeah.
other than that, there were women, not one woman around me that was queer. But it's
Yeah, and
amazing
if
now.
they were, they didn't say it. You know, like
Right.
I
Yeah,
was in high school,
Almost like a
and
bad word. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I went to, you know, went all through high school, never had a thought that anybody, you know, was lesbian. I had one gay friend in high school that he was so femmy, and I just like I was constantly sticking up for him and,
Yeah.
you know, bullies away from him and that kind of thing. And then like later on, right, like when Facebook exploded and everybody from your high school was contacting you and everything, and there were all these girls that I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, I never even knew.
Right.
She's a
Me
lesbian. Oh my God,
too.
what a man. Yeah. And it's one of those things that like I probably didn't even pay attention to them in high school. And now
Right.
on Facebook, like we're constantly messaging and everything. And we're closer now that we're both out and free of late, you know.
yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I met up with one, I went on a cruise and it was going to Rhode Island. and she lived in Rhode Island. So she met me and my wife at the boat and then like took us all over these great little spots in Rhode Island. I said, Laura, I don't think we ever spent this much time together in high school and also high school, but it was just like the most amazing thing. Like it was so crazy. And then another one that's in the army. And I was like, would have never guessed, so it was
Yeah,
just like, they were there, but nobody
didn't
really knew.
think
Like
about it.
they didn't identify that way in
Right,
high school. So I don't even think they knew. You
right.
know, like I said, there was no reference point, you know, as then you're in your like teens and in your 20s and this and that, and you're like, oh, Will and Grace is on TV. And think things were becoming more familiar. And it was like, God, where was all this stuff like 10 years ago? So
And
it's
yet it's funny
true.
because when I look back, like I see pictures of myself and I'm like, how did I not know? Like I hated wearing dresses. And even like when I was in my teens, I'm wearing like a suit, like, but like, more like definitely more on the masculine side, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I guess we just didn't have that. It wasn't commonly accepted. So, um,
It's like now that you say that, right? Now I understand why my post went like viral on Threads because
yeah,
I had
yeah.
posted something when Diane Keaton passed away. I said that reminds me when I was, just kind of creeping out of the closet, not all the way out. My older
Yeah.
cousin asked me to be in her wedding, and the first thing she said was, "You don't have to wear a dress. Like you can pick out whatever you want
Knowing
to wear, right?"
you were not going
Right?
to wear one.
So we went shopping to find stuff, and my mom was with us, and um, I wasn't finding anything, and my mom kept holding up dresses or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not wearing a dress, and my mother said, "This is not a time to make a statement." Like my mom knew, like I had told my mom,
Oh,
and I
oh,
had told my cousin, so my mother just said in a more protective way,
yeah.
like this isn't the time to make a statement, like not knowing how the rest of the family would react because maybe she thought I was going to wear a tux down the aisle or something, but that's not what I had in mind. So my cousin just was like, and my mom's like, I don't think it's a good idea. I think she should be in a dress, and they're arguing back and forth. And my cousin turned to me and said, well, what did you have in mind? And I said, I just want like flowy pants and like a maybe a white button down oversized shirt, a vest or something. And my cousin just said, oh, like Diane Keaton.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yes, like I wasn't thinking that, but when she made that reference, I was like, yes. And then we looked at my mom and my cousin said, well, surely that's okay, right? And my mother was like, oh yeah, okay, let's see what we can find. And it
So
was
she
fun,
understood it then once it was had that reference. She was like, oh, right,
yeah.
right.
You
And
needed
so
the
I
right
kind of
reference.
posted like a little, excerpt of that whole scenario, and like 20,000 people, like liked it or had a response to it. I had like something like 200 comments, and
Oh my
I
God.
just told JD, some reporter from Newsweek has reached out like to ask about it, and I'm like, oh my God, but yeah, when you don't have any reference whatsoever, you feel like you're just left hanging in the atmosphere, like an astronaut floating through space. You don't know how to dress, you don't know what to wear, you don't know what
Mhm.
your style is, you don't know what your type is, you don't know what you're
Exactly, yeah.
looking for. You just know that like a woman just caught your eye. You know what I mean? And it's like, like, and then I do remember like my cousin very clearly saying, so when I came out, she said, so when we were little and we used to play Charlie's Angels, you didn't want to be an angel, you wanted to like date an angel.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, now you get it.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But like you said, JD, it's like looking back, you're like, how did you not know? And I
Right?
got to say, like a lot of my friends, all my straight friends, when I did come out, they were like, oh, welcome to the party. Like we knew, and it was like, oh, so it
People
wasn't a surprise to anybody. It was like they were waiting for you to catch up.
to catch up.
So
Mm.
yeah,
It's so
it
it's
was
so true though. Like you don't know if you want to be her or if you want to be with
Yeah,
her. Like there's
right.
something you're like, oh, she smiled at me. Why do I feel like that? Am I looking
Yeah,
at her makeup, her teeth? Like, or do I actually want to kiss her?
yeah.
It's a really weird thought when you're actually like
it's
trying to
amazing.
deconstruct
Yeah,
what you feel
yeah.
there. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
strange. It happens all the time to nearly every
But
woman that
When you
here's the thing.
started your page, I'm sorry, Denise. I didn't
That's
mean
it. Like that's it. When you
you were
started your
gonna ask.
page, was that the common thread? Because
Yeah,
after
that's what
after I came out and then I was talking to other late bloomers, every single person seemed to have the exact same thought.
hmm
And here
Mm,
you were having those thoughts thinking you were the only one. So
yeah.
how perfect is it that you have this group that can all come together
hmm
because they were having the same feelings and didn't know what to do with them?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many common threads. Like I could write a book of how many different threads that are like someone posts something and then there's 50 comments of people going, "Oh my God, I thought I was the only one who was feeling like this." But
Yeah.
within the group, it's more than that as well. Like there's people like, "I'm going to come out to my kids. Like, can anyone tell me how that
Oh
conversation went?"
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
my husband, great guy. Like I don't want to hurt his
Yeah.
heart. Like,
Yes.
and people can
yeah.
show me of like a positive outcome. Like my ex, well, we're still technically married. We haven't quite got divorced yet. One of us would
We'll
eventually, but
get there.
I
Yeah.
hear that.
more often than not, like they're beautiful
Yeah.
humans. You marry this person because you really like them.
Mhm.
Like I would sit here now, I could say that he would be my best friend. Like there is so much elements of why you choose to create a life with that person.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, like there's been so many examples, not just from my own, because my ex and I, we co-parent really well now. There's so many other women who have had really supportive people. There was a lady from the UK that come to one of the virtual speed friending events the other week. Her current male partner, she's still very much in the questioning stage. He went out for the night so she could be online for 2 hours and just talk to queer women, just kind of like immerse herself in this space to kind of feel like, oh,
Yeah.
like there are just so many beautiful examples of men who have
Wow.
been able to drop out of their ego and just look at this person as a
Yeah.
person. Got
Yeah.
me
I
through
think
so
JD, we can say we were both pretty lucky in that way
Yes, definitely.
that we were
Yeah,
able to
we became
maintain,
friends.
decent relationships as friends. Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
always
still
say,
have a business with my ex-husband, so I see him.
yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
every day.
but we don't
But
have
I
kids.
think
But
my ex-husband and I always said that we feel like we were more like best friends,
hmm
and the main reason we got together was because of our families. Like our families were meant to be families, a family together. And we didn't want to do anything that was going to ruin that. So every time I felt compelled to come out to somebody, whether it was my mom or his mom or, his sisters or whatever, he came with me. And
Oh,
he's like, I kept saying to him, you don't have to. Like, I can do this on my own. He was like, if they see that I'm okay, you're going to
mhm.
be okay. So he
so
came with me to,
supportive.
yeah, he was so
Yeah.
good about that. Oh my God, my
Yeah.
cat. Sorry.
I can't say I quite had that same experience in that particular moment, but like moving forward, like it is much more calmer. I think once the male partner works through their own grief, and obviously because they're grieving a life, and even we grieve a life of what we thought we always wanted. So like once they can work through those moments of grief, like so many amazing things can happen. And like especially if you have children, if you can co-parent in a really healthy way,
Yeah.
it can be amazing. Like my ex-husband has come on holidays with my girlfriend and I and our kids, and it's been okay. Like
Yeah,
everything's been it's just proof, and I really want people to see my social platforms or hear me talking about it, that there is some little light at the end of the tunnel, because
There
when you're
is. Yeah.
like that messy middle, it's fucking awful. There is no light. There is
It's
no light.
true. I mean, you don't see the light. You do not see the light at the end of the tunnel for a really long time. But when you do, and you look back on what you've got through,
Yeah,
it's a relief, it's a freedom, it's
yeah.
a knowing you're going to be okay. And it's like, yeah, it's a struggle to get to that point. And a lot of it is us, like we do it to ourselves,
I
and
would
Absolutely.
imagine it's harder with children when there are kids involved. Like I
yeah,
had a friend who did not have an easy road at all with that. Her kids were like middle school age, and her husband did everything he could to make her life as miserable as
no,
possible.
I hate
And
stories like
she
that.
ended up reconnecting with her friend who was her best friend from high school, and she was in denial, that her best friend from high school told her she had feelings for her, and she said to her, "Oh, but I'm getting married, I'm engaged," and she never spoke to her again. Her feelings were so hurt, the friend, that she never wanted to speak to her again. So like 20 years go by, and now she was married to this man who was a lawyer, which made it harder for her when she was going through the divorce because he was able to make it as hard as possible. But when email came around, her girlfriend, her best friend that didn't talk to her for years, reached out to her, and it just so happened she was thinking about getting divorced because the marriage was not good anyway. But when she reconnected with her, they instantly, and she was like, "I denied it, but I really did feel that way, but I couldn't at the time," so she
Aw.
ended up getting married and having kids with this man. Now they got back together, and they're still together now. They ended up getting married years later. But during that time when the kids were in middle school and they were getting divorced, he made it miserable. Like he wouldn't let her see the kids. He was getting all kinds of,
Mm.
legal things. And he tried to turn the kids against her too, it didn't work, but it was just really, really hard for her because of the children being involved. So it's really fortunate when the husband doesn't do that, in any way.
Yeah. If
But
you like you said, if they put their egos aside, you know,
Yeah.
like I think, maybe because I went the therapy route, you
yeah,
know,
you went a
and we
great
had a
route.
little bit of that support and guidance. It was okay, but we also didn't share that with anyone for a year.
Mhm.
Like we sat with it for a year. Like I moved into another bedroom and, started kind of living the life that I wanted to live. And, he had found someone online that, he was flying out like to the West Coast, to California or whatever to meet her. And I was like, I was okay with it. I was giving him tips and, picking out clothes for him to pack and all that kind of stuff. So we had all this time to adjust, which it helped and hurt, because then
Mm.
when we did come around to telling people and showing them that we were okay, then we had to learn to give them the space
To
so that
process.
to process it, right? Like their reaction isn't going to be to us as we are right now.
Mhm.
Like you said, there's a mourning process. And like my mom actually said, like, I need a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad you guys are okay with it, but I need a minute. Like,
Yeah.
I need
It
to like let go of what I had in
Right.
mind
Because she
as
was
your
thinking
as your future.
grandchildren, probably, right?
Right.
You're an only child.
Yeah, and that like stunned me. Like I just thought my mom would be like instantly on board, and I'm like, oh shit, because I'm an only child too. So she had a lot.
Mm.
There was a lot riding on this marriage. You know? You
Yeah.
know?
It's so true though, because like
Yeah.
my family never like we've always been a very open, it doesn't matter if you're queer or gay, like there is nothing, no religious, anything that's come affected us. But my family were like, "Oh, but your marriage." It wasn't that I was gay, it was like,
Yeah.
"But your
What do you
marriage,"
do
because I
now?
married
Yeah.
two men, not just one man, two. They were just like, "But your kids and the marriage, like what's gonna happen?" Like, but my ex and I, we lived together for 20 months after we separated.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't choose to be in that situation now. Am I grateful that it happened? Absolutely. Like it showed, just exactly like you, it showed that you can kind of navigate different situations. It gave my kids, even though probably about halfway through, we ended up telling them that we were separating, but they got to see two parents kind of navigating a house being separated. And I started dating a girlfriend whilst I was living in the house still.
Yeah.
So everything happens for a reason, right? Like whatever
Yeah.
journey any of us walked is the journey that you're supposed to be walking. Is
Yeah.
it hard? Is it worth it? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
That's
is hard.
true.
It is hard, especially like you
Mm.
said, because there is no handbook.
No.
Yeah,
And everybody's coming out is different, and I think that's why we always go back to everybody's coming out stories. It's
yeah,
because they're so different, but they're always interesting. Good, bad,
yeah.
ugly, wonderful, sunshine, daisies. all of it, like they're all so interesting. And
Yeah.
you know, I also think like the people that had the hardest time, that like JD said, like that kind of when that transpires and someone is like vengeful in
Yeah.
it, and it
Yeah.
makes it's so hard. That person becomes so much stronger for what they had to go through, and their
Right.
next relationship or their new relationship or whatever means so much more. And they've learned so much from that experience, you know.
Mm.
And, like yeah, might have sucked, but they came away with a lot of hard lessons. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird, and it's really tough because I think my wife's your age, Petria. She's like your age, and
Amazing.
I think she had she knew early on, like in her teens,
Hmm.
and came out at like 16 or 17 or whatever, and had that little bit of fumble with family and whatnot, but everybody got on board. But I think the hardest part is, and this is funny because like when you're younger and you learn it, and then you're not married to a man, like you don't go with the flow and you don't follow the herd, and kind of know who you are and you're walking your path. Like I remember a couple of times when people's reactions were, well, what about Chuck? What about Chuck? Is he okay? Is Chuck okay? And I'd be like, God damn it. Like who gives a fuck? I'm telling
Well,
you a big
after a
thing.
while, you
Yeah, yes.
it was about
Like I would
you.
literally get offended that they were more worried about him. I'm like, look,
Yeah.
he's getting the house, he's getting the furniture, he's getting everything. Don't worry about him. He's got someone else lined up. He's fine. It's like, God.
And
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't get that. I just don't get that.
but like
So
you went
many
about
people.
it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Petria.
Oh no, so that is a really common like thought. So many people are
Yeah.
so worried about
Yes.
everyone else except the person who's essentially starting that domino effect.
Actually, a
Like that
great
person who
point.
knows every single word that comes out of her mouth
Yeah.
is going to change not just her life, her kid's life, her ex-husband's life, her parents' life, but no one else, like hardly ever does anyone ask, "Oh, like, are you okay? Like,
Are you
Yeah.
all right?
are
Yeah.
you like, how are you in this situation?"
Oh
But
my God.
the Late Blooming Lounge does that. That's why it's like so important because so many of your actual family just forget. They can't see past
Right.
their own stories in their head of what it's going to be, that they can't
Yeah.
get to that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
it's
like Denise, like you, like I really admire the way you went about it. That you like went to the therapist and you really like
mm,
looked into that. Like I think I don't know if I would still be married today, just being, oh no, I'm just playing music and because with me, I didn't say anything about it, but I felt it when I did finally realize because I my way of doing it was immersing myself in the gay community through my music. And then I also handled it by traveling then and touring and just recording in Nashville and being away, that all of those feelings went into my songwriting. But in the meantime, the marriage was suffering. We were just like best friends, and I didn't
Roommates.
realize it. So
Roommates. Yeah.
what happens when you go away a lot? I gave him a lot of time, free time, where he started cheating. So
mm,
my breakup actually happened because of the cheating, not because of me coming out and saying I'm gay. And so
JD, ever the opportunist, right?
right? I
Like,
mean,
oh,
but
there's an
and I
opportunity for
didn't
me to get
plan
out of
it,
this marriage and come
right?
out.
So, but my initial anger at the being cheated on and that he brought her into the home. Like there were things in that
mm,
story. He's a very good person. He just did a really, really bad thing because he was bringing her into our home when I was away. And she was like a psycho and like just thought once I found out I would throw him out or whatever. And she was the one that revealed it to me because she wanted him to leave me, and he's like, no, I'm not going to leave my wife. And he didn't realize I was gay. And of course I wasn't saying it, but she had pretended to be a fan of mine for like eight months. So she was trying to find out, when are you going back to Nashville? When are you, like, writing to me as this fan? So it was a little bit, it was so messed up, that story. But when it all came out, like, she was supposed to be this fan that revealed this to me about him, and said she found these pictures online, which weren't true. They were pictures they took together. And this was before there were cameras with phones, phones had
Oh
cameras.
yeah, didn't
They
she
didn't
left an envelope, right? Like that
It
they
was an
did give you
envelope
that?
with
Yeah.
printed out pictures for me to see, right? And so, and then I realized, oh my God, that's my bedroom. So I was so filled with anger in the beginning. The feeling of, well, now I can go live my truth, wasn't my initial thing. My initial thing was, how could you do this? Like, the betrayal, because, she was such a psychopath. She was taunting me with it every single day, with
Yeah.
emails and stuff. So anyway, it's just a different kind of story, but I guess everybody has their own story, like you said. But I would have probably, I don't know how I would have handled it if that didn't happen, like now I'm like, thank God that happened. She actually did me a favor, because when was I going to then come out, right? And so, but that took a lot of courage, what you did. And I always was like, wished I had that courage to do that, Denise.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't
Story.
like I was fortunate, my mom had a restaurant that was in a plaza, and this therapist's office, her and her husband had a like a big therapy counseling, whatever business. So they came in like 3, 4 times a day, like coffees, lunch, that kind of thing. And she was actually like a friend, but she was the only person that I knew that was a therapist. So I felt very comfortable like going to her and to get this figured out. Like it wasn't, I didn't actively like open up the phone book and start looking for therapists. She was like literally at my doorstep. And I just took advantage. But I do think that it was a big help, because I just don't think when you're in that state that you have the ability to reason with yourself,
Yeah.
or you do start leaning into, oh, pff, that's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. But like I just knew that it was on my mind way too much to not be something,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's just what I needed to figure out. Was it because at that time, that's when, chat rooms were a big thing, and I'm like, am I just, is it my surroundings, that's doing it? Is it that, or am I actively seeking it out? Like I had so many, questions that needed to get, like, we had to get to the bottom of, and I just didn't trust myself to figure it out on my own. And because I knew the consequences, I knew that if it was this, I was going to tank my marriage. If it was that, I could probably deal with it, and everything would be fine. But I had to know, like, that was it. I had to,
Mm.
I had to have somebody help figure it out. And and again, it was like, it was somebody I could trust, because I had I already knew her, and it was easy. I could go after work. Nobody, nobody else would be gone. I'm like, I'll lock up, and I run upstairs to the office. But yeah, it just happened that, it was on my doorstep, and like, why not take
See, but
advantage?
I still blamed myself, because I'm like, oh, this is my fault, because I've been running away so much. This is why he went and found somebody else. Like, I still, so like when people were saying, oh, well, I was angry in the beginning because he brought her in the home. But other than that, I was like, why, I guess I left him alone. And so when people would say, like, people were saying poor Chuck to you, like, uh,
Yeah.
people didn't know about me being a lesbian right away, because the at first we didn't say anything for 2 years. We lived in the same house. I had a girlfriend, he had a girlfriend, and we just like were cohabitating, and it didn't work. That was way too long to do that. But you
Oh yeah.
must have people with a lot of different coming out stories, right? Petria, like when people, do they share their coming out stories in your?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so much so. So much so that I'm on the verge of starting a Substack to share other people's stories. So I don't know if you girls are readers of Substack, but it's like a blog or a newsletter, because
Yeah.
I've people resonate with my story, but I was like, imagine if there's a space where we can share everyone's stories.
Yeah,
And like,
great
so
idea.
people, so when they're Googling, like doing your little Am I Gay quiz at 2
Yeah.
a.m., it's not just quizzes that are coming up, it's other women's story. Doesn't matter where you are in the realm of coming out.
Yeah.
Some women, because I think I've got maybe 15 girls that have put their, or women that have put their hands up so far to start sharing their story. Some
That's
haven't
great.
even come out yet, and they're happy to do it anonymous, but they're like, no, like this stage where I'm at is so valid and so important, because there will be someone else out there as like a later in life lesbian. Like we're all middle-aged women. Like I'm hosting an event on the weekend. I think the oldest lady is maybe 68 who's coming. Like we're not like these little like tiny teenage children feeling unsure. Like we are women, and we've stepped into this, and we feel powerful because we're doing these big brave things.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That means that your Substack will be
Oh,
widely
yeah.
accepted and shared. You know what I mean? So that's, futuristically, that's great. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
that's one of those things that, as a trend, and I know you know this, Jay, like lesbian bars are kind of like on the down, closed, not reopening, and it's now like pop-up events. So it's like, they're so random that
Yeah.
you end up going, oh, that was Tuesday, and you've missed it.
Or
You know what I
it's
mean?
Sunday afternoon. They do it in the afternoon, like a tea dance.
Yeah. Yeah. So the gay men can have it in the evening.
And yeah. Do you have live events? Do you do online events or both?
I do both. So this, I wouldn't say I do more online events than I do in-person events. But this coming weekend, we're celebrating the Late Blooming Lounge 2-year anniversary. So we're having a disco. We've got people flying in from all over Australia, and a couple of people flying from overseas as well to come.
I love that. That is awesome. What do you have on your page about Vietnam? Are you doing a trip there?
Yeah, so I've got 2 trips. I'm doing a Sydney Mardi Gras trip, which as of last night sold out. It's kind of it's such a pinch me moment, and that one we've got someone from the UK, Canada, someone from New Zealand. Like these are not just Australian events. The reason why like I want these events to be a thing, because when I was going through my journey, I didn't celebrate it. There was like no like, yay, I'm going to pop the champagne, I'm gay, I'm going to live authentically, because it was awful. That stage was not
It's like I made it through, and then
like oh my God.
Right.
But having a trip where you've got a group of ladies that are going to a different country or going to a different space, and being in the space to have these conversations with just women who've walked this and can celebrate it, like that's why. Like I did Bloom.
It's like a lesbian cast reunion.
Yeah.
Like you look forward to all these people that you've chatted with and you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's great.
Or for women who are still in that journey to then look at a group of women who are actually celebrating getting through that journey. Like the Blue in Vietnam trip, there's maybe 7 spots left. One of the ladies booked the trip before she'd officially come out to her husband. She's like, I knew my future self would need
wow.
So like like even now I've got goosebumps doing it, because when she was booking it, obviously I'm having all these conversations with people. She's like, no, like this is something I know I need to look forward to, because I know this next part will be hard. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then on the other realm, we've got a couple who've engaged. So like there's like so many different realms of it, but the trip is basically, any of the trips is to have that light. That is the light you can see. You can celebrate being queer, and it's fun. We're just girls going on a girls trip.
What a great idea! What a great
massive
both of those, but all of them. That's awesome. So needed, such a needed service that you're doing. Really, and not enough of that is happening. So
oh my God, JD, you need to play at these things.
Yeah.
Come to Vietnam.
Girl with a guitar.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm there.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't need a girl with a guitar? Yeah. Totally. I have my passport ready to go. So.
for June. I'll send you the details. You can come.
Sounds great. Awesome.
That's fantastic. I swear to God, if you go to Australia before you get to London, I'm going to kick your ass.
Can you imagine? Oh my God. I'm stopping on the way and picking you up and taking you with me.
Or you hit us on the way back.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
You don't want to do that journey all the way back home. Stop in London and then go home.
love it. You can have the guest room ready by then.
I will. I will. I
Not that
totally.
I'm inviting myself to stay with you.
But you know what's like?
You can come to Australia for here. I don't mind. We'll have you at my.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's you. I swear to God, you'll love her stuff. You really will.
I'll send
It's
you my links.
Yeah.
Actually, I just wrote a song called Unbroken, which is for basically for the LGBTQ plus community about persevering through, the hardest of being persecuted almost for who you are, so yeah.
It's an anthem. Like it is definitely an anthem. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much needed though. I think like another thing that I discovered on my journey, and obviously you might have done it as well, is like queer artists exist. I was like, oh my God, why do I love this song so much? And I'm like, oh, because she's singing about her love for a girl.
Yeah.
And it's like a weird kind of thing that like on the heteronormative radio stations, there is no queer artist except for G Flip. G Flip now pops up every now and again. And there's, I suppose there's
I know her from Selling Sunset, right?
well, yeah.
He's with Chriselle, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I love my reality TV. Yeah.
That's about all you. I never heard you about reality TV except that show. And
I
cooking
told you that. I'm so addicted to all the selling shows, the real estate stuff.
real estate stuff.
Yeah, anything about like selling New York, selling Manhattan, selling Sunset. There's always a couple of queers, there's always a few. Yeah.
That is exciting stuff, really.
Yeah. I so wish there was stuff like this when we were going through it,
Yeah, different times. Totally.
Yeah, like I did a podcast in 2006 for like 10 years, and it was called the Lesbian Lounge, and I was always I hate to use the word, but flabbergasted when we would get like an email from someone that was in like and this is the span of it. Like there was a woman in Ireland that would write to us the day before that she would write to us on New Year's Eve every year and kind of give us a little recap of her life and also the shows that she really liked that we did throughout the year, or the guests that we really liked,
Nice.
and it's so thoughtful,
Yeah.
and then it was apparent that like maybe she came from a city where she couldn't go out and be a lesbian, because she would always say that she'd listen to us while she was walking her dog. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like she had it on when all her friends were over or something, so we were kind of that. Then I got like a letter from a girl, and this is obviously way before all this conflict in Ukraine, but she was from Ukraine, and she found us online and would listen to the show all the time, but she couldn't tell anyone, and she asked if we would send her some subtle merchandise like pens and stickers and stuff like that. So we'd like ship those off to her. But it was just, we had listeners from all different parts, and there was also, we got like, I remember a letter from a teenager, of course, in the Midwest, probably Texas, didn't really say, but just said in the rural parts, in the Rust Belt, actually, she said. And no one knew that she was gay. And she looked forward to Wednesday nights because we were her only gay friends, and she would put her earbuds in, and she at least knew that on Wednesday nights she would have a party with her lesbian friends,
And that
and
was
it was
a
like
long show, right? That was like 2
2
hours.
hours. We used to do and it was, and we had like a little interactive chat room, and so many, like you said, so many friendships were made, and to this day, here we are almost 20 years later, those friendships are still in place. And I still, still see like through Facebook, or like they'll drop me a text and be like, "Oh, I just visited so and so in New Mexico, from the show," and I'm like, "Oh my God," like it's the connections that were made were so strong,
Yeah.
and it meant the world to us that we were, and we were stupid. We were like, I mean, we weren't like, I don't know, Jay, how would you describe it? Like we weren't
Little,
super serious about anything, we
yeah, like a little like raunchy sometimes, like sexy stuff and whatever. And then I
yeah.
was on the show the time. I always say this this show when you were comparing maxi pads. So you had like the ice cube on two of they had two for the whole show. They would test.
Because we were
They had ice
because we
cubes
were
on top
over
of you.
40. We were over 40,
And I
and
brought
then
my
my
sister with
co-host
me.
had children, but we were always laughing till we peed ourselves. So
Yeah.
we were looking for like a pad that we could wear to like events and stuff, because we would always crack each other up. So yeah, we did. We had big ones, overnight ones with wings, and we were putting ice cubes on them, and yeah, JD was a guest.
And I brought my sister with me, my sister Nancy, and she's like, "What's this show about?" I'm like, "I'm going to be a guest on a radio show. Just come with me." Like she had no idea what it was about.
Is this a show about incontinence? Yeah, but we would have like, you know,
Maybe it's friends. Like having a friend that's talking, like that lady would have
Yes.
felt like she's got these queer girls that are having that general banter and that general conversation. Like nice sometimes. Like there's podcasts for like learning, there's podcasts for audiobooks. Like sometimes people might just have needed that friend, that queer
Yeah.
friend that they needed.
we were very
Absolutely.
irreverent, very, very irreverent at the time. Like sometimes I go back and listen to like an old show and I go, "Oh my God, we could never get away with saying stuff like that now. Never."
You were ahead
Um,
of your time, though. Really ahead of your time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, back in 2006, like everybody was afraid that if they downloaded a podcast, it would crash their computer. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
They,
no one
They
really knew what it
called it
was.
podcast back then. I did it. Was it internet radio? Did they call it
We
podcast? Was that a
we
word yet?
started as internet radio, where we would
Yeah.
broadcast live. But during
wow.
that broadcast, we would record it, and then if people missed it, we would put it up
Yeah. Yeah.
website so that they could listen to it again. It didn't mean that they had to download it, but they would panic and think that they had to download it, and then they
Oh.
would. So we used to have to kind of reiterate, and then, but we loved doing the live show because we were so unpolished.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were broadcasting out of a spare bedroom of mine in my tiny condo, and it's where the litter boxes were. So we would be in the middle of a show, my cat would come in and take a shit, and we'd be dying, like, "Oh my God, this is so bad." And we would eat and we would drink and we would burp and we'd fall off chairs and we would like get
It was
stoned.
fun.
We would talk to celebrities and give them the hardest time, or they would suck and we would just be like, and hang up on them. Like we had no class, like, what I mean? It was crazy that it lasted 10 years because it was just, we just bungled our way through it. And this show is so different.
We're so
we're,
polished.
we're a little more polished. We're a little more polished. We might not
But I
get the link
figured
we
out how to
want.
hit record and get us on Zoom at the right date.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Did it.
nuts,
We
but
did it. Got
Yes,
there.
we
yeah.
did it. Oh my
We-
gosh. I was so happy that you pointed out to me it was the 14th where you are right now.
yeah. That is so
Oh
funny.
gosh.
I'm like in the bathroom brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed. He's like, "Hey, can you jump on? Can you jump?" I'm like, "Oh, sure. Yeah, sure, no problem." But this is why we do this kind of stuff, because it doesn't matter, like what time of day it is for me or whatever. If we have a guest that is bringing something that we know that there's a people need, or that it's a positive thing and we feel like everyone should know about it or whatever. Like that was the whole purpose of doing this kind of show,
Mhm.
was because we wanted people in our global community that are working on things
Mhm.
that other people will like, it'll resonate with them, it's a positive thing, you know, we need to get the word out, you know, that kind of thing, because it's always us that needs the help. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I always say to JD, I feel
Yeah.
bad. I'm so angry during COVID that every fucking celebrity started a podcast
Yes.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
built-in sponsors, 1 million downloads, you know, and it's
Producers.
like, oh my God, here we are, the indies that have been striving to get our
Yep.
shows heard, you know, and they come on and take it over.
So true.
So I just said, like, I think we just keep going down this path where we find these bright lights in our community, you know, and just get the word out about them. And even if it does nothing, it's like it's enlightened us, you know. And it's like for me, I'm like, oh
Oh
my God, look
yeah.
what she's doing for our community. Like I want to go to bed happy. Like I'm so thrilled to know that you're doing this. Like even that. But I think like when, like you said, you're getting people from everywhere, you know, that
Oh
are
yeah.
are interested in this. And it's so funny because like when you think about it, like so many people rag on Facebook. You know what I mean? Oh, it's for your mom, you know, like that kind of thing. And it's like,
I think
you
it's
know
because
what? I'm not sure. I think that, you know, it's
yeah.
a look at what you started and how it's grown.
Yeah.
8,000 in a
I
quick,
wanted
you
to
know?
ask you, yeah, like how, like when you decided you wanted to do this, how quickly did you see people coming on and joining and being like interested in what you were doing? Was it right away?
Straight away. Yeah, it was straight away.
Such
Like
a
which really validated it because
yeah.
my social media was not queer when I started, and then I went to a healing circle with a lady that I lived with. I didn't know her, and I shared my story. It was the first time I'd shared it to like a group of women I didn't know, so I was like feeling safe. And it was only till maybe 2 months after that she messaged me. She's like, "Hey, I think I'm like you. I think I feel the same as you. Like, what kind of advice would you give me if I'm going down this?" And it was like this like little like idea just popped into my head. I was like, maybe I can share this. Like maybe there's other people that are like that. So I think I shared maybe 1 or 2 reels and they went viral straight away. I was like,
Wow.
oh, I feel like maybe this is the universe that's like giving this. And then the Facebook group was opened up within maybe a month of starting to share online, and it started, people joined straight away. It was like a really like, it was a big confirmation, I think, for myself. I'm like, oh, this is the right path. Like I've had a podcast of my own before, I've had my own business, and it felt amazing, but there was always something quite off. Like if you guys have your own businesses, like you can feel there's something that's like a little bit more of a push, whereas this is felt like this beautiful flow. And there's some women that have been in the group since it started that are still there now. There's a particular couple, I won't name names, they met in the group right at the start, and now they're together and they're moving countries to be together.
Wow.
Like
That's
like
awesome.
so many, like, not that the group is full love stories, but I think like there's another couple that's like two elderly women that have met and they're connected and they're fallen in love. Like there's so many elements of the group, and obviously dating, I'm a very big thing. There is no dating. Don't post your little don't know if you're in queer Facebook groups, it's like a heart if I'm free or a red if I'm this and this. But yeah, it just grew so quickly, and it was just really really big
It really
confirmation.
is, you know,
Yeah.
must be need. We had uh Lisa from My Big Gay Overalls,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
which is yeah, right?
You know
Yes, I
And
know. Yeah, she's in my group. I know exactly what you're talking
oh,
about.
okay. She's now
yeah, and like
she'll message me. Excuse me, I just wanted to say this is your friend from the future because she's like a day ahead sometimes, like you were just now.
she's a good sport, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, she's so open about her, you know, journey and
Hmm.
experience and everything. And, you know, those are the kinds of, and I hate to use this term, but I kind of am like, I'm leaning into it a little bit more. Like the elders, you know, like your queer elders
Hmm.
have lived through these experiences, and they don't, you know, if you want advice, they're there, but they're not going to force it on you. And that's what I
Yeah.
love about our elder people. They're just there if you need them, you know. And
Yeah.
Elise
Yeah.
is like those kinds of
They're there
people.
if you need them.
Yeah, they're there.
But you questions because if like they might have that path before, or they might have heard that question, or they might have had that situation happen to them.
Right.
So I think when you one that you can ask the question and you don't feel it doesn't feel like a silly question. With a Mardi Gras trip, I asked the ladies, like I wanted to gather some feedback about why they're coming. And one lady was that she's like, I want to be in a space where I can ask questions, like questions that like might seem a bit personal, but like, and also some like sexual questions of like, how does scissoring work? Like, what is it? Like, I can Google it and something can come up, but that's like, what is it actually like? And she's never had someone been able to ask her. I was like, wow. How amazing that you can have a space where you can feel comfortable with questions. Like you're a 15-year-old going, what do you do now? And what happens now?
Yes.
But as a middle-aged woman, like that's amazing. I was like so mind like that
really is.
That is
that's what people need. They need these spaces, you know, they're just like free and welcoming and safe, and that's exactly what they're looking for. I mean, we had a friend of mine that I worked in a pub, and she was a coworker of mine, younger, like way younger, and after the pub had closed and everybody had kind of moved on, and we still, you know, WhatsApp message back and forth and everything, and one day she just kind of like floated me a message and was like, hey, got a minute? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I just wanted to tell you I'm bi. And I'm like, you know, like I was the only gay person that she knew. And the whole time that we worked together,
to tell you.
she had a million questions, and I was forthcoming and everything. So then we had her on the show. Remember Carrie? We had Carrie on the show.
Yep.
And I think we said to her, is there anything at all that you want to ask? And it ranged from who pays the bill? If I ask somebody out, do I pay?
Right.
Or how do you even initiate having sex, and what do you consider sex? And it was just like, wow, you know. But I think that's part of what is people are so desperate that, you know, they want somebody they can go to that's not going to make them feel like an idiot, you know, not going to laugh at them, and you know, and genuinely give them information, and not make them feel stupid. It's
it's like a best friend. It's like having a friend that you can ask these questions. Like, you know, when you have a baby and you want to be around other moms who have babies, and it's like, is your baby doing this? Because my baby's doing this and I'm going crazy. Are you going crazy? Like that, but in the late bloomer kind of thing. Yeah. Like we get so inundated. Like on social media, there is a lot of queer girls, especially lesbian TikTok. Lesbian TikTok is the awakening for so many late bloomers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're like, oh, I need to hold my coffee like this, or I need to wear a carabiner now. Like, do I need to wear sneakers? Should I be having my cap backwards? Like, there's all these things that you're like uninitiated with, like the stereotype, like lesbian. Whereas you can literally be the exact same, but you date a woman. But you have to go through learning and unraveling and like testing out outfits and just like seeing where you feel. Even your haircut. If you scroll down my rabbit hole of social media, like I had long blonde hair. This is my natural hair, but I chopped it all off and went copper for 2 years. Like I had to do like a full kind of like, where am I? Who do I actually feel in this queer world? Whereas now I'm like, oh, I can just be me now. Like I don't have to.
But it takes a long time. Yeah, it takes a long time.
You have a very nice natural color, Petria. That's
thank you.
Really pay a lot of money for that color. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. So true. But yeah, you know, you're right though. I remember, you know, going through that thing where it's like, you know, my friends would be like, come on, we're going out, you know, we're going to all the lesbians. And I'm like, oh God, how do I want to present tonight? You know, do I want my Timberlands and my, you know, my Birkenstocks? Or do I want to like, you know, and it was just always on my mind, you know, until you just kind of relax and find your groove and, you know, figure it out. But I watch another guilty pleasure, JD. I watch a show called Made in Chelsea over here, and it's a lot like The Hills. Used to be like rich kids running around London, like rich kids running around California, The Hills. There was this one girl, and you know, when she came on the show, I was like, oh my God, she's gorgeous with the long hair and the gorgeous body. She was a tennis player,
Mm.
and all the guys were just like, like macking on her and everything. And I'm like, wow. And then here we are 2 years later, and she's come out, and she's come out on the show and
Oh,
immediately jumps into a relationship with someone. And now she's going through that same thing where she presented a certain way in this relationship, but she's learning who she is and how she feels comfortable. So
yeah.
she's like wearing the backwards baseball hats and the
Ah,
baggy clothes and the trainers and the tracksuits and all this stuff.
yeah.
And she's so afraid that she's going to lose her girlfriend because of it. So it was a huge storyline of her having this conversation with her girlfriend, and then her girlfriend's like, "Just be who you are." I don't love
No
you for your
uniform.
genes. Yeah, I love you for you. I don't love you for your genes. So just be who you are. But it was I'm like, wow, all these years later, and it's still a thing on your mind
Mhm.
when you come out, how
Yeah,
you're going
I
to
guess. I guess so. Yeah.
present,
Never
you
thought.
know?
Yeah, because like so many women now, it's like it's a little bit scary when you're like going into a bar or dating someone, and it's like, especially if you present them, it's like, how do they know I'm gay? Like I've only
Yeah.
just come out. Like,
Oh,
what's a sign? Like, what do I need to do to say like I'm queer and I like?
Is there a code?
Yeah,
Yeah. Is there a hand
yeah,
signal? Is there a code?
yeah, like a special like signal or something that you can do to.
Yeah. Like the guys used to have the hankies, the colored hankies.
Oh,
Like we didn't get that. We didn't get that luxury. You just had to guess, or you had to. I mean, it's hard because you lack such confidence
yeah,
in every
yeah,
thought that you have, and yet you need to kind of have a little bit of confidence and just know that getting shot down might be on the table. But how do you got to make an effort and just be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And if they go,
right.
hey, it's
Especially
whatever.
coming from if you're coming from a straight world because you're used to the guy making the first move, right? So then usually they're the ones that ask
Yes.
you about, can I buy you a drink, right? So usually that's the way it is. So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
that is a
Absolutely.
new kind of a new concept when you switch teams. So yeah.
It's
yeah. It's
so much
scary though.
involved in it.
I've never bought someone a drink. I'd be like, oh my God, what happens if they're not queer? And I
You
Right.
realized,
might get shot down. You're right.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
It's quite
scary because, like,
likely.
you think of middle aged women, a lot of them have been married for their whole adult life.
Yeah,
Like, for me, I had never dated. I'd never dated. I kind of like met a male, I married him. Met a different male, I married him. Like, there was no dating process.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
women now are learning how to date for the first
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
which is like
It's a
a
whole
whole other ballpark,
other
especially
topic. Yeah,
Tinder, social media, like all the different apps that you can use. Like it's so different
yeah,
today
Yeah.
than when
yeah.
we were first
Yeah.
younger.
Apps alone, like who would have thought you'd be able to just swipe on somebody and get yourself a date? Like back then you had to like get dressed, go out, wait until somebody was, like hammered before you'd make a move. It was just like,
And
you
back in the
know,
day when they took ads out in the paper, when there were the personals, right? I
don't
mean, when they were, I
remind me.
mean, there were songs
Don't
written
remind
about
me.
that.
Oh
Yeah,
Going
my
to
goodness.
the dating websites.
yeah.
Remember we used to have that whole segment on the show where we would just go
Oh,
like
right.
Plenty of Fish or something like that, and we would
Yeah.
critique lesbian dating, like their
Profiles. Yeah, like the
profiles. Yeah, we would
profiles.
literally critique them, and that was a whole segment on the show. Like, oh my God,
And
this one's giving way too much away. Jesus Christ,
then
like get
it
rid of
turned
the
out you
dogs in
knew
the
one of the
picture.
people, right? Then it turned out you knew one of the people. It was her ad.
She came to a live event, and me and my co-host went, yeah, it was brutal. It was tough. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like it was just a different time back then. You can get away with a lot of that stuff, but couldn't do that now. But yeah, it
It's still
was
Tinder though. Like if you go onto Tinder, then
yeah.
there you
I mean,
still
you
see.
and your friends like literally right sit on the couch and be like, look at this one, look at that one. Oh, this one's fantastic. Look at this one. It's the same thing. You're only just
Yeah,
it's just the two of you, and you're not broadcasting it to the world.
right, right.
Yeah.
We had the nerve to broadcast it to the world. Yeah,
Well, they didn't have
that's
pictures, I don't think, so you were safe,
we
right?
didn't show the pictures.
There were
No,
no
no, we didn't.
pictures, so.
Yeah.
We
You
saw the
might be
pictures, but we
finding
didn't
you
show.
after that.
Yeah, we had to draw the line where there may be lawsuits, like that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. If someone's listening to this show,
Hmm.
where would they go to find you or to message you or to jump on or,
Yeah.
like get involved? How do they find you?
So come to Instagram, so Petria Leggo-Field _ late bloomer, or come and look for the Late Blooming Lounge, which is on Facebook. And if you, depending on when you're listening to this, the Late Blooming Lounge Diaries is where Substack will be hanging out.
Oh,
Love it. I love that
fantastic.
name. That's awesome.
Great.
That's a great name.
That's
Thanks.
going to
And
be
you
so
have
successful. I feel it.
live
Yeah.
events coming up, right? And you have live events coming up and web and video. What do they call it? Viral.
Virtual speed friending.
Virtual. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word virtual. Virtual
Yeah.
and live events. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if people want to join the virtual speed friending, I do 3 different ones each month. I only share this in the Late Blooming Lounge because I only want late blooming people in these groups. So my recommendation is come join the Late Blooming Lounge, check out the events tab. There's 3 events. I get up at 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. to host a UK one.
wow.
Once a month. Yeah, but it's so needed. Like it's absolutely so neat, and because it's a worldwide community. But and if anyone does want to come to Vietnam, the doors are still open to Bloom in Vietnam. I've got 7 more spots, and we'll be there.
And when is that? When is that trip?
That's June 2026.
Wow.
Oh, great. Plenty of time to plan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
plenty of time.
fantastic. But only 7 slots. So you got to make that decision
Yes.
Yes.
quickly. Yeah, okay.
Yes, make the decision because the Mardi Gras trip sold out, which is just like
That is
so
amazing.
it's going to happen for
That's a
Vietnam.
testament. That's a testament to what you're doing, that they're selling out. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What?
I nearly cried last night. It was only last night when the doors shut, and it was like 10 minutes to the doors shutting, and one popped up. I was like, I did a little
That's a great
squeal.
feeling. I like, you know what? There's something cool about the fact you're not on TikTok and you're doing this amazing work because everyone feels that you need to be doing stuff on TikTok to make any
Yeah.
kind of a presence with the numbers. And it's great that you're not doing that
No,
because
I'm too old for it.
yeah,
that
community
that is-
over there.
That was my thought too.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't dance or lip sync or do any of that.
yeah.
Can't even make a fucking reel. I can't even make a fucking reel anymore.
yeah.
Like, I leave that shit up to JD now. Like I used to be all into it and everything, and it's not even about like not having the time to do it. It's they change how to do it so
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
And you have to relearn it every single time they change it or the algorithm changes. Like there's a lot more into growing a platform than I
Oh,
think
yeah.
people really understand the
Yeah.
behind. I think you really have to love it to be to really want to keep learning
Absolutely.
all the
Yeah.
new edits. Keep giving
Yes.
you
Oh
all
my gosh.
who you should be trending with, what songs. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot.
No.
It works though. It's worthwhile, but yeah, there's definitely a lot. So if you don't like it, leave it to people that do like it, Denise. Yeah.
I find it sometimes relaxing, but it depends on how it's going. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
not relaxing when you do the whole thing and you can't find it. Then, like, what happened to it? I hit
Yeah,
one
I
thing
get-
and it's gone.
Right. I get super frustrated when I like fuck my algorithm. Like, oh my God, I watched a baby eating a fucking lemon and now that's all I get. Eating pickles and lemons and I'm like, how did I end up here?
I've got some of those.
JD,
You just gotta like quickly like do some Google research. It's like lesbian, gay, and then you'll get all the ads for everything that's
so
like
true. It's so true. I find that on like that's why I really like Threads because I've curated like the most masterful feed. It's like gay men, it's lesbians, it is all Kamala Harris stuff, it's all anti-MAGA, it's like every time so like it's Amy Poehler, like I'm very much like I was loving the SNL skits with her and Tina Fey. It's like my whole feed changed like that to like all kinds and I'm like this is the perfect curated feed for me right now. And I feel like I have such control over it. And like I said to JD after that Diane Keaton post went a little bit viral, I got like 100 new followers, but I'm like, no, wait a minute. I'm going to vet each one.
Yeah.
Like each one. And if they were private, I removed them. If they were a dude, I blocked them. I was just very specific in who I would keep as a follower. And I've been doing that for so long now, that I just feel like I'm not, and I see people like complaining, oh, there's so many bots online now. Oh, there's so many MAGA people online now. Or what's this new thing with, the ICE people and ICE agents? And I don't get any of those things that they're talking about because I'm so mindful of what I'm liking
Yeah.
and who I will allow to follow me
Mhm.
without having to, like a private profile, without having to have a private profile.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just felt like I put the effort in and it paid off in
Yeah.
that respect, but I don't have it in me to do that again on another platform. I really don't. I really
I'm
don't.
like that for my Facebook group, actually. Like it's only me who manages it. I don't have any other admins just yet. And it can take me sometimes a couple of hours each week to go through each profile, check them all out, because there are so many bots and scammers and awful people.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is such a vulnerable topic. And there is so many people in there that are feeling vulnerable. I'm like, I don't want anyone awful. And it takes hours,
Yeah.
but it's worth it. I'm the same
It's
as you
worth
do.
it. It's absolutely worth it, especially Facebook, because I think
Yeah.
because it's been around the longest
Yeah.
that, like people have learned the ins and outs of it, really quick.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
scam a picture, scam a girl picture, pretend to be a girl and just come into
Right.
the group and try and infiltrate it and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
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 So it's so good that you're super mindful of that and really careful, because that, that you can make a wrong turn, and things can go bad really fast. So
Yeah.
good for you. Good for you for staying up on it without having any other admin people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. You're doing it all on your own. It's like a part-time job, for God's sake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Wow.
definitely is. My husband's just like maybe this is a lot for you. I'm like, yeah, but when you like it and when it's worth it, I think it makes
Yes.
such. And when you can see the impact of
Yeah.
what it's creating and that little movement, I hope for one day that I won't be having to work my other jobs. I work 2 other jobs, so this is definitely still my part-time.
I was just going to say, I bet you will get to a place where this is your thing that you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For
I
sure.
would,
Especially the more trips you do,
Yeah.
the more trips that you do and events that you coordinate and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
I can totally see that exploding. Yeah, that's great.
Getting a
Yeah.
TED talk, like I see it all for you.
a TED. Oh my god. I have to get over my public speaking fear. I do keep doing it. I keep putting myself in situations. I spoke on
Good.
a festival in Brisbane this weekend, and it was the first time I've spoken to an auditorium of people, and I was like internally dying. But I'm like, you just got to keep doing it. Keep feeling the fear. Keep showing up. Keep putting your microphone there, and keep talking.
Yep.
And one day, maybe
Yeah.
one day,
Absolutely. Plus,
Yeah.
you come from a place where people love your accent. You
Yeah.
probably can have one. But like, it's funny because you could go on like on Siri and they have Australian, British, I guess American, but no one says Brooklyn, New York, like where I come from, Long Island, Jersey. Like nobody wants Siri to sound like that, right?
That's so funny.
So right away, you're like way ahead because you have
Yeah.
Look at the big head over here.
sought after accents.
Yeah. No, if you can hear, you'll be a bit. I mean, I remember working in a pub, and the minute I would say, "What can I get you?" they'd be like, "Where are you from?" You go instant. Where are you
That's
from?
so funny. Yeah.
And I was always really, proud to say, "Oh, I'm from America," or from Florida. Or whatever. And then after Trump got in office, and people would be like, "Where are you from?" I'd be like, "Canada." Outright lied, like, "Oh yeah, I kicked a boat in Canada." Like I just did not.
A boat.
Not want to say America. Still to this day, I still
Oh my
am saying
God.
Canada.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal, but you live with it. But they do always like comment on accents over here. So they go, "Oh my God, you guys talk so cool," and it's just like, really, we think you do.
Right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Londoners sound so smart, even when they're dumb. They sound
Yeah.
smart.
I
The
have
English.
from the South because, like here, people like a Southern accent. So I was like,
Yes.
"Oh God, I love the way you talk." And she's, "No, I like the way you talk." She goes, "The difference between the Southern accent and the New York accent is people think we're dumb in the South, and when the New Yorkers, they think you're not, they think you're
Oh.
stupid, and then the people in New York, they think you're stupid and dangerous." So The Brooklyn
That's pretty
accent,
funny.
people are scared of you. You know, the
That is.
Georgia accent, they just, think that you're stupid. It was just
Oh
funny.
my God, that's funny. That's so
Right?
true.
I'm like, so we're
Oh.
both stupid, but I'm the one to fear. Okay.
Because you're so scary. You're
Right,
so scary.
right.
That
That's
is
funny.
truly, truly funny
They're
and
funny.
true.
And
and
true. Well, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It's morning for you, right?
It's
Early
morning.
morning.
Yes. But nighttime for you guys.
This was so awesome that we made it happen. I'm so glad it was meant to be. Meant to be.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
Yeah, man,
awesome.
you're doing wonderful things.
We'll be
You're doing
promoting
wonderful things.
you. I'll make some reels and get it out there, and I'll send you my music. You never
Yeah.
want me to go.
Yeah, we'll pop it on our playlist. If you don't come to Vietnam, we'll at least listen to you in Vietnam. You can be
Thank
there.
you. Awesome.
Oh, amazing. Can I get a picture before we do sign off?
Sure. Yeah. How do we do
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
much.
Great. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Too loud, but we scream and we'll never bow. Tears and scars forge this steel. No more doubts, this power's real. We are unbroken, we're the storm. All their rules, we've torn apart the norm. No apologies, hearts ablaze. We're the sun, we're the endless days. Rise up, fighters, we won't back down. Voices loud, tearing through the ground. Every wound's a badge we wear with pride. Never surrender. We've got the fire inside.